Hello and welcome to this video on sequences and series, where we're going to take a look at how to write the formula for an arithmetic sequence. So what we're going to do in this video is run over these two example questions, and by doing these we'll explain all the rules of basically how to do this type of question. So if we start with this first one, we have to find the formula for each of the following arithmetic sequences. And part A, the sequence is 7, 20, 33, 46, 59. So if I want to find the formula that expresses this, the first thing I would do is write out the sequence myself. So write out the sequence here. I would write out the general formula for an arithmetic sequence, which is A plus n minus 1d. This here is something that you want to memorize and you use this every time you want to find a sequence for a formula. And then I'm going to have to try and find A and D. A and D are the really important terms I have to find. A is just the first term in the sequence, so the very first number. So in this sequence here, A is 7. It's as simple as that. It's just the very first term in the sequence. So A is 7. Meanwhile, D is the common difference. It's the difference between each term in the sequence. So as I go from this first term to the second term, we're going to think, what is the difference? What is it increasing by? And in this case, that's 13. Yeah, it's getting 13 bigger. I could check the same thing for the next two. What's happening here? Oh, it's getting 13 bigger again. And it will continue to get 13 bigger as we go along. So D, our common difference, is 13. Okay, so we now have our formula, we have our A, we have our D. Now it's as simple as plugging these into the formula and simplifying it down. So if I scroll down a tad and we give this a go, we start off with the A, which is 7. So I have 7 plus n minus 1. And this n minus 1 bit doesn't change. N is just a letter that we use to describe which term we're looking at. But because it's an equation, a formula, we just leave it as n. So plus n minus 1, and then d. So I'm going to times it by 13. Remember, because the d is next to the bracket, it means times. So times 13. Then we expand that, and we get 7 plus n times 13, so 13n, and minus 1 times 13, so minus 13. Basically, we're there now, but we just need to simplify it down. 7, take away 13, is minus 6. And then I have to add the 13n. And that's it. We now have the formula for this specific sequence. One more thing I would do though is probably just rearrange this a little bit so that I get 13n minus 6. You don't have to do this, but this is how you'll normally see formulas for sequences written. They normally have the n term first and then the integer term afterwards. So that's it. Let's now give that a go for part B. So if we scroll down, I've written out B. So this was 93, 88, 83, 78, 73. So we write down our formula, we write A and D because we need to find those, and then we can plug everything in. So first of all, what is A? Well, A is the first term in the sequence, the 93. So we put 93 here. What is D? Well, we've got to calculate this. So let's think, how do you get from 93 to 88? Well, I have to take away 5, minus 5. How do I get from 88 to 83? Take away 5 again. Now, if it's an arithmetic sequence, I know that the pattern will be repeated, so there's no need to check more than one, really. But it's always good practice to check 2 or 3, just to confirm that it is the pattern that you expect, and it doesn't have anything kind of weird going on. So D this time is negative 5. Yeah, it's really important that you put the negative sign here, because it's decreasing by 5. If you had just put positive 5, that would have implied that it's increasing by 5 each time. So anyway, we now have A and D. We plug them into our formula. We're going to have 93 for A, plus n minus 1 times D, so times negative 5. Maybe put that in a bracket because of the negative sign. And then we expand it. So we have 93 plus n times minus 5, so plus minus 5n. Didn't really need this plus sign. And then minus 1 times minus 5 is positive 5, so I add 5. And then simplify it down. So 93, add 5 is 98. And then I take away the 5n. And like before, I could, if I wanted to, rearrange this to minus 5n plus 98, so the n term is first, but that's not really too important. So I hope that all makes sense. Just remember, whenever you have a sequence, write out the general formula, find A, find D, plug them both in, and then expand and simplify. And that's it. Hope that all made sense. Have a go at some of the MCQs down below to make sure you've got it. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.